You officially have 1 week before your taxes are due, and today is Taxing Thursday here at Fox 25. We're trying to help you avoid those last-minute filing mistakes as you lick this stamp on those taxes and send them away. Joining us now to help us sort through the maze of numerical issues, we have Joshua Jensen, JJ the CPA we call him. Thanks so much for coming in, Josh.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Okay, so let's start with the top 3 mistakes that taxpayers make if they're filing by themselves.
You know, believe it or not, it's not major ones. It's the basics. I think people are just kind of getting in a hurry. But mathematical errors, even though you're using software, sometimes deep in the return there could be some kind of an error as it carries forward. So check your math, especially if you're doing it by hand.
So maybe once you're done with the whole thing, you just go back over
just check it, even just the major items. Social Security numbers, believe it or not. You know, the IRS is getting more picky. They're checking with Social Security Administration, so maybe a digit's off with one of the dependents. And then just if you are filing with so many forms, sometimes you're just forgetting to include, you know, Form 6251 or 3903. So just make sure all the forms are in there. It's not a big deal. Just take your time.
All right, that's a good idea. So what happens if you do make a mistake? Does the IRS like send the Secret Service after you and they're like hitting you with darts and stuff?
Not at all. Not at all. There may have been a time for that, but no, they actually they're very helpful. The IRS, in fact, if you've got a mathematical error, typically they'll just fix it for you, send you a letter just to let you know what they fixed, how they fixed it, one line item, so you just kind of take care of it. The Social Security number, typically, if you paper file it, they'll just send you a letter, same thing. If you e-file it, the good thing is within about 48 hours, they'll send you a notice back just saying, hey, we can't run this through yet.
That's
the Social Security number's off, so you can just correct it, resend it in. But and same thing with OTC. They want to get it over with just as bad as you do. They want to get it. They want to get it processed.
That makes sense. So, what about forgetfulness? What should taxpayers not forget when they're under the crunch?
Yeah, definitely. You know, you get down here in the last week, and you might be like, "Oh, I got to get this done," but you know, still take an extra day, take your time, make sure you're getting your deductions. The ones that we hear about or miss so often is second mortgage, real estate taxes. I mean, if you've got a mortgage, make sure you're deducting that for sure. Charitable contributions. It's the itemized deductions.
And what kind of people out there should be considering, okay, I'm getting close and I need to file that extension?
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, if you owe, you got to pay by April 15th. So an extension of time is only an extension of time to file, not a time to pay. But if you're waiting on third party, getting a Schedule K-1 or some stock basis or something to that effect, I say it's better to extend, pay any tax that you owe, and file the first time thoroughly. Don't file and then have to correct it later.
Okay, that makes sense. And tell us one tax deduction that our viewers might not know about.
Well, I'll tell you 3. Don't forget that real estate taxes this year are on top of your standard deduction. So even if you don't itemize, you can get that real estate tax.
Cool.
If you bought a brand new vehicle in 2009, you get to deduct the excise tax. It's a 1-year deal only. It has to be brand new. And on your Oklahoma return, you can deduct up to $200 married filing jointly for giving to an Oklahoma political campaign, believe it or not. So there's a lot of people probably missing that deduction.
Different stuff. All right, JJ the CPA, we appreciate you coming by. We have one last installment of Taxing Thursdays next week. We're going to wrap up this tax season just nicely, and you can get help from people like him if you need it. Might have to file an extension in that case.